Great morning, traders. This is Austin. It's Monday, 11:03, November 3rd. It is 9:29 Eastern. Just about to open the pit session of trading for stocks. I am working with the Russell here. Have a chart up of crude oil also. I'm working with the Russell solely, and I'm going to do this for the next 5 sessions from now until Friday in the non-farm payroll session, and then that's it with the YouTube stuff for the rest of the year, if not longer. But with 6 sessions behind us and 5 sessions still ahead of us, that's more than enough work to be done together. So no, no initial trade plans here. Just watching the Russell open on a slight gap up. It's gonna do its usual slam and jam thing off the open, and there we are. So as soon as a signal comes along, we will be in the trade and we'll discuss it. 9:30 Eastern. Alrighty then, we have our first live action of the day. That's short on the Russell around 1171. They started with a spike up, and then they took them down pretty hard. I'm in the middle of a lot of things. Did a pre-market mini workshop in the team room, and now we are discussing signals in the team room. Not only this, but crude oil was a sell up around here pre-market, and around the 80-70 zone it was a sell, and then again around the 80-35 zone. We've called both of those per the CM scalper mode. in the market has likewise obliged, rolling lower. So that's what we have now. The Russell, I'm sorry, yes, the Russell, let me get here, is put our 233s on. The coil market's roadmap warning tracks are down here. If they snap back up, then I'm looking for a re-entry. If they keep rolling lower, then we're good to go. That, of course, is my preference. I'd prefer they keep going lower, but it's that whip spike time of the day, so we'll see what happens. It is 9:43. Okay, fast action. The Russell it hit its prior stop, slipped one tick, and then it reconfirmed again, and it's whipping around. So once again, the second time we have the stop at plus one tick. Basically, it's testing the bottom of its open range big picture, trying to figure out what's next. There is this gap fill below, which also correlates to the coil market's roadmap values lower. If they stop this out again, I would be looking to reestablish a short somewhere, unless or until the charts turn bullish, which they are not. Filter chart's 100% bearish, so all I'm doing on the trigger chart is looking for places to be short. Simple as that. 9:46. Alright, how about an update? We are at nothing. 2 times short from the 1171 area. They both stopped at par. They both slipped one tick, and then price has just blown. V turned straight up in the air. There was no buy signal that was executable. It just just smoked. They came down below the open range. They did the wedge and then blew away. And anywhere I wanted to get long, vaporized. Welcome to trading the Russell in crude oil at times. So we'll see what happens once this vapor trail here ceases, whether they're going to keep going up today or whether they go down or whatever the case may be. So that's how it is early on. They went up, they went down, they wedged, they smoked up. Lord only knows where they'll head next. It is 9:57. Okay, it's 10:01. Markets are reacting to ISM, I believe. Got a breakdown sell in the Russell. It's coming back through a prior sequence. It was a pre-market pattern sequence around there, and it would be on a continuation sell at 73.9 also. So she's whipping around. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add to that there if it does. And then I will jam that stop in. So And of course it may just whip this one out and be gone in 2 seconds. You can see the early illiquid volatility here. So anyway, sit, watch, and wait mode for execution. Currently at 0 ticks, risking 8 or whatever it'll be on slippage. I would be on the buy side. I wouldn't be on the buy side for a while. There's not really much to work with here, just chop. Alright, well, there you go then. -8 ticks. And she's whipping around. 10:02. 10:04. It's one of those mornings where the Russell is wigging out. I was long. It gave a quick buy signal around 11.75.8 or so. I was long there and it stopped out in about 1 second. And now it is whipping its way lower. So I have a 8-tick stop, actually a 7-tick stop in here. That's how it reflected, and we'll see what happens. If this one gets whipped out, then just gonna sit back and relax and wait for price to straighten itself. So this was was short from the 74 area where I wanted to add to begin with, 73.9. See what happens. Basically overall they are still inside the open range. That's a look at what's going on. Whippage. Same with crude now. It's whipping a consolidation before it makes its next point of decision. Well, anyway, 10:05 Eastern. Well, now it is 10:08. TF is whip spiking its way down, but big picture, it's still inside the open range. It hasn't gone anywhere, so I'm just going to take the risk off that position. I don't see an add right away. Maybe 1171. If it was that due to here? No, not going to add to it. I'm just going to manage this one as a single position because there's no trend. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Currently -18 ticks. Every single position, every single one lot has slipped somewhere, either in or out or both. So highly illiquid morning, that's telling me. And crude is consolidating at its lows. Hasn't really progressed far from there after the initial surge is down. Maybe it continues on, maybe it doesn't. So sit, watch, and wait mode. 10:09. Okay, let's see. It's 10:15. Added at 72.2 and 73.8 gives me a blended at 73. Take the risk to -1 tick. I am gambling, plus 15 ticks or so unrealized to double down here and see if they'll continue. Basically, as you can see, the Russell is hanging inside of its open range. I'm betting, aka wagering, that it breaks this and heads there, which would be the 1165 zone at 233 above or below, or both. 90% probable on any given session, and they haven't gone to either of them yet. So that's the way we're betting. This is no different than if we were playing Texas Hold'em and we had odds of probability of, whatever we're holding, beating whatever is to come. It's just a game of statistics. I have the trend bias 100% down. Have price action failed to go up twice. We know that either this mark below or the mark above are likely to be hit. 90% probable today at random. So pressing that bet. And then if price obliges, we win. And if price doesn't, we've managed risk. We've folded our hand, and then maybe they're going up. Or maybe they'll go down the next time. It's no different than playing World Series of Poker, those high stakes game. You ante-raise and fold, ante-raise and fold, 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 until you win a pot. And then you move on to the bigger table, 1017. Okay, here we go. More or less, you can see the battle taking place right here at the bottom of the open range, and it was also this mess from Friday's non-session, and that's what it's clinging to right there. So I'm going to take a little bit of risk off here, just 5 ticks, because and this is arbitrary. This is just my own individual management decision. Don't want to give back everything. I want to pair some of the 18 tick draw currently, but by the same token, I don't want to put it within range of noise where price is going to come up and then roll over and not give me a chance to get back in. If they come up and tag this and they roll over, then I'd be looking to reestablish around 71 plus again. So that's how that decision is. As far as crude oil goes, it made its pit session extension lower from the open range down to the coil markets roadmap number 1 and 2. Then you can see where it came up and retested the number 1, prior support, then resistance. Now it's broken that resistance and it's going whoever knows where. So crude is currently on a bullish bias for the moment. Basically, it's just a pullback against the initial trend down. So we have Russell's pinned inside the open range for the moment. Here's all-day congestion from Friday it has to deal with. Crude made its measured moves down in abrupt fashion, and now I'm digesting that. So there we are at 1024. All right, an update. I went to plus 10 tick stop, slipped a tick. So that 9 ticks on a double position pretty much scratched the day for now. The Russell is just banging this 50 tick range, 5-point range. It hasn't gone directional. It hasn't even left the open range except for a very brief period of time here. So anything that's going to happen material wise today has not happened yet. It could be up, it could be down, don't know. So sit, watch, and wait. Take whatever confirms come along. It is 10:30, and I got next 90 minutes until noon, and we'll see if anything happens then, between then. So there we are. All right, it is 10:46. My automated stop did not engage for whatever reason. Anyway, price is moving back up. I'm sorry, down. It's moving up in crude oil, down in the Russell, and so have a dual position on. See how this goes. And that's it. Back towards the bottom of the open range. I'll be managing accordingly. I might be in and out more than once here. We'll see what happens. 1046. Update 1054. Spiked out of the most recent stop. I've been short repeatedly the 71-72 zone, and it just keeps chopping that repeatedly. There's, as we said, it's dead inside of Friday's chop zone. Pretty much mark these highs right about there. She just keeps banging around, going nowhere. So crude oil is chopping its way back up after coming down and holding the coil markets roadmap lows there at the bottom. They're just trying to do the chop and chug thing upwards. So anyway, still on the short side of the Russell. Eventually it's either going to work or noon is going to get here and it's shut down for midday. One of the two. 10:55. 11:16 Eastern update. We have a lot of nothing. After a bazillion turns in the Russell for, at this point, -8 ticks, I'm short for the final time ahead of the midday period with an 8 tick stop. You can see all the Russell has done today is hang right dead inside of its open range. It's just rolled, and tested one side and the other. This is the congestive support from Friday. And as far as crude oil goes, it made the one extension lower, and then it's just consolidating as well inside the ROMAS. So worst case scenario on the Russell for the morning is going to be minus 16 ticks, and then the best case scenario is something better than that. And I'm not looking to add to any positions or anything like that. I'm just going to manage this single contract here to wherever it might go and see how that resolves. So just hasn't been anything to work with. Pretty much, if you wanted to stretch it, you could say it's been a 5-point roll. It's been more like 4 points actually, but a 5-point zone the entire morning, and they've just rolled sideways through it repeatedly. Eventually it'll break. Question is, will that be today or tomorrow? Stay tuned. 11:18. 11:20. Removing risk as they roll back down. Maybe this is the actual break for the day or for the morning. We'll find out. But worst case scenario is no further risk on this one, and we'll let it go from there. 11:20. All right, then it is 11:33. They seem to be moving directionally. However, that's best said. And what I'm going to do is take this to 18 ticks, being down minus 8 ticks. So worst case scenario, they're going to pop off this most recent test of the low zone here, and I'm going to be at plus 10 ticks or so heading into midday, and then we'll see what goes on in the afternoon. Best case scenario, they're going to break this umpteenth test of that congestive support, and we'll do better than that. So worst case, it's the day is covered, and best case, it's going to be a fine finish. So we'll see. 11:34.
A 2/3, a 66% correction if the market begins to fall hard. Obviously, it's reversed. Is that still your macro forecast?
10 ticks
yes, that is my macro forecast.
And
I should also note that downside target is still the technical downside target, because something important happened when the market broke just recently. And that's the uptrend that was established at the beginning of 2013 also broke. So we're no longer in that upward sloping channel that began at the beginning of 2013. And that opens the door for further decline. And looking at a technical basis, that 1400 level or so is the first stop on a technical basis.
Okay, still alive. It is, what time is it? 2:03 Eastern. It is hours later, and I've done nothing since. Neither has the market. The Russell is just locked up tight and tighter inside this open range. It's gone absolutely nowhere. Literally for 2 days. From Friday 9:35 Eastern all the way until Monday 2:03, where we are right now, it has stayed locked up inside pretty much 5-point range. Crude oil did the early drop, and then it wedged, traded around its coiled markets roadmap values, then it spiked up here for whatever reason. Had to be news, obviously. And then it came down and it did this little consolidation, and it sold off from around the 55 zone of sells right back down to here, and there it sits. So it's a trendless day in crude. It's made some oscillations, 1, pretty much 2 and 3, and that's how it's been. So I'm willing to take one more shot in the Russell. Well, quite frankly, I'm willing to trade until this is mostly gone. I won't finish in the red today. I'll quit first and just chalk it up as an untradeable day in the Russell. So that's where it's at. But I'm hanging out, waiting to see if anything materializes. Sit, watch, and wait. Could be minutes or it could be hours until something's engaged. 2:05. All right, might have something going here. Inexplicably, crude oil just fell out of bed in the past 15 minutes. These are 5-minute bars. In the past 14 minutes, it's dropped 150 cents or thereabouts, more than that maybe, and the Russell is rolling over as well through sell signals around 72.5 to 73, and this is my last attempt for the day. From 72.5 stop 73. If they take that out, then I'm going to be 5-ish ticks to the good, and that's it. They just chopped it too much. If this works to the downside, it works to the downside. So not really sure what's going on with crude. They kind of held it in the range here all day, and then from 215 to now it's 229 to 230, they just shoved them down a rabbit hole. So that was that. Maybe the Russell follows suit. I don't know if there's any news to this or just funds liquidation or whatever the case may be. So sit, watch, and wait. I'm gonna do is this and go from there. Like I was saying, if this doesn't work, then all they've done is just held inside the open range all day long, and I'm not gonna fight a range bound tape. I'll work with it tomorrow. But if this does crack, and it's got to crack these lines that we drew many hours ago, then it could be headed here. So see what happens. 230 now. Okay, then 232, we have stocks on the move, and I'm going to go 20 ticks. It's now 30 plus ticks in favor, and seems to be breaking through this long-term congestion here. And for whatever reason, crude is just absolutely selling straight into a hole. So maybe there's some kind of news that is going to drive stocks with it in sympathy. I haven't seen it yet, if there's any kind of news. It was 20 ticks. Let's go 31 ticks. Just in case they snap back. The Russell is at some key congestion levels, and I'm not trusting today's price in action. Although if it goes lower, it should be somewhere down to this pre-measured zone we talked about many hours ago. And if it doesn't go lower, then it's done for the day, I would imagine. I'm going to take this down to 41 ticks, given a chance. It's flirting with that level right now. That would be enough for me to call it a day around the 68.4 zone. It's stalled out there for the moment. I'm going to try to grab that if I can. Let me put this on hold, and I will. Okay, we're there. Take that out. There's 41 ticks. $41 ticks gone. 51 ticks gross. In a heck of a choppy day. I would just say it's the theatrics here in crude oil that caused this in sympathy, and I'm just going to call that good enough. Stocks may crater for all we know, but that was a really challenging tape here, being this congestive. I would expect tomorrow to be more expansive than that. So we've had 2 days of congestion, and quite frankly, it's still within those 2 days of congestion if I take the open range away. So, there you are. But that's a wrap for now. This was a lot longer production than I figured. It took all day to get there. Hope this helps. This is day 1 of 5 for the week. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, best trading wishes.